The Jets beating the Titans was a stunner in this regular season. The stunner of the postseason was the Cleveland Browns going to Pittsburgh and destroying the Steelers and ending their season in very sudden and stunning fashion. The Browns host the Steelers on Sunday. Steelers 3-3. Browns are 4-3. We still don't know if Baker Mayfield's going to play for the Browns. He was limited in practice on Thursday again. He's finally realized after last week acting like it's his birthright to play every game for the Browns as long as he chooses to do so. He's the one who decides whether or not he's healthy enough to play, no one else. Now he sounds like a guy who is far more reasonable about how it all, works when you're not fully healthy, and it's not good for the team to put the guy out there who's not healthy. I don't know who we're going to see. I think Case Keenum is good enough to manage the offense, especially if they have running back Nick Chubb back on the field. But, I worry about this one from the Browns' perspective because the Steelers had a week to heal up. Big Ben has a few less ice bags on his joints. He's feeling pretty good. He may never feel this good again in a football season ever. And when I'm sure you saw the quotes from Mike Tomlin when he was asked about coaching USC. He has an edge to him that I don't think was just in that moment. I think that's how he is all week leading up into this game. I think he's going to have the Steelers ready. I worry about the Browns losing this one, even though they're the better team. I feel like the Steelers, almost just like last night, where the Cardinals are the better team, I just feel like the Steelers are going to have something for the Browns this week, and I think the Steelers are going to win that game.
Yeah, if you're Mike Tomlin, why would you ever want to leave? Would USC be that much better of a job? I don't think that it would be a better job at all. Outside of the Steelers head coach, basically you're looking at Supreme Court justice as being the only other gig that has higher job security. And Mike Tomlin never finished the season below 500. He could be there. He could pick the day right now that he wanted to retire as Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, despite what many internet commenters think about Mike Tomlin. Once he gets below 500 during a season, he can still pick that time that he wants to step aside. So I would never leave being head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers to go out to California to be a college football coach. Completely different skill set entirely. Having to go out and recruit, that just sounds annoying. Having to pretend to enjoy people's parents' food when maybe it's not that great. Always being polite. No, when you're an NFL head coach, that's when you stop being polite. You start being real. I think it's a good gig he's got going. I still like the Browns this weekend. I think that Case Keenum is the perfect backup quarterback. He played the perfect backup quarterback game last Thursday night. Didn't wow you, didn't go out there and make Baker feel like he was being endangered of losing his job, but he made every throw that he had to make. And D'Ernest Johnson, aside from having a really cool name, turns out is a pretty good running back too. So obviously they're going to miss Chubb if he's out. Hopefully he can get back. But even if he is out, I don't mind D'Ernest Johnson. And Case Keenum, like I said, he's a serviceable quarterback. And I think that they can get it done. We've all seen the stats of Big Ben's record in Cleveland at First Energy Stadium, how he's no longer the winningest quarterback there. Baker took that over, I think, last year. He's had a good run there, but this is a Browns fan base that for the first time in a very long time is dealing with expectations, and they're not really sure how to handle it, but they're very passionate. I've seen a lot of anger from Browns fans directed towards other Browns fans for either being too optimistic or too pessimistic, but they're definitely still just as fired up as they've ever been. And the Muni lot is going to be out of control on Sunday. I wish I could go up and check that out. I'm very excited for the Browns. I think that the Browns are going to handle the Steelers this weekend. Don't know what's going on with the whole Odell Beckham situation, but it's gone from being a joke talking point to a real talking point, where I truly think that the Browns are better without Odell Beckham in their starting lineup as a receiver. I don't know if it's the fact that he demands the ball, and he's a great wide receiver, or he was a great wide receiver when he was on the Giants and he was demanding the ball. He had every right to be demanding the ball. He was by far the best player on the field. Now, I don't think he's a top 3 wide receiver on the Browns. Maybe in practice, maybe he's able to do some things that other wide receivers can't do, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't click when he gets on the field. It doesn't translate. And especially when you've got other talented guys out there that you can spread the ball around to. I don't blame Baker Mayfield for looking at him second or third or fourth on any given read. So I think that both sides have actually kind of come to understand that by now. I don't even think it's that controversial to say that the Browns offense is more functional without Odell Beckham.
And we got the trade deadline coming up Tuesday at 4 o'clock Eastern, and I've been keeping an eye on whether or not somebody else out there, maybe the Packers, makes a move for Odell Beckham Jr. It's a big salary commitment. He's been very good about not trying to make waves. He hasn't said anything negative publicly about his role, his situation, but the Browns are a team that on the surface should be buyers at the trade deadline, but I could see them moving on from Odell Beckham Jr. You're absolutely right, though. And I don't know whether it's – I remember in 2019 there was constant talk about you got to get him the football. How much does it disrupt Baker Mayfield's progression where he knows he needs to get it to OBJ? Or whether it's a combination of just like the big personality, the big presence, the Cam Newton effect, where – regardless of what his role is, he's going to suck up a lot of oxygen in the room. And for a team like the Browns is trying to be, in my estimation, a true team across the board, a personality like that will stand out. And when you got a quarterback who's kind of got a big personality already, then you have a receiver with a big personality. Sometimes it doesn't work. It's kind of like when you and I get
throw
together.
This out here.
Too many big personalities in the room.
So many sparks. The chemistry is just undeniable between you and I, Mike. I'm going to sprinkle this out here, a little treat for your viewers. What if the Kansas City Chiefs inquire about Odell Beckham? Just say, screw it. You think we're too cute now? Let's make the cutest offense in the history of the NFL. Our offense you're going to be booping our offense all season long. It's going to be uncomfortable how cute we are. At that point, that does actually become basketball on grass. If you got Kelsey, you've got Odell, you've got Tyreek Hill. Probably not going to happen, but it's fun to think about. Like, collect them all. Let's get all the most dynamic players on offense, on the edges at least, on the Kansas City Chiefs, and see if we can't fix that team.
We've kicked that around, but the idea of the Browns trading him to the Chiefs in the conference doesn't make sense because they are obsessed with beating the Chiefs. Why are you going to give them Odell Beckham unless it's some sort of a Trojan horse situation, which really is next-level stuff?
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.